up, everybody? What's going on? What's going on? Hello? 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 What's up? What's poppin'? Peace, shalom, hotep, Kenya, Nigeria, Cameroon, Senegal, Egypt, Libya. What's up? You're rocking with the best Thoughts of the Week podcast. What's going on, everybody? Glad to be doing another podcast for y'all. I am chilling in my mobile studio. The mobile studio, as some of you guys can see, those who are watching. I am in the mobile studio. I decided to come over here right quick and do this show. Just like this automatic lighting based on my movements. But what's going on, everybody? Glad to come back in. How's everybody doing? Once again, you rocking with the best Thoughts of the Week podcast. And this is podcast 66. Alright? Podcast 66. I ain't too fond of those two numbers there. But nonetheless, 66 podcasts in. And today I want to share a few things with you. One is an article right before coming on. I just came across this article. Might be able to help some people. And then the next thing here, I got my notes. Took a few notes on a particular video I was looking at, I think yesterday or last night sometime. A couple of videos. And I'm going to try to get through with these today. I took some notes. These will be kind of geared towards anybody wanting to be an entrepreneur. Those who are entrepreneurs, those who are kind of starting as entrepreneurs. We're going to talk about some interesting things. Like I said, I jotted down some notes, some takeaways I got from a couple of videos. And I just want to share with y'all because also I'm going to take away something from it as well. And I figured I want to share it with you guys too as well. So again, no coronavirus videos today or no coronavirus podcasts. Maybe we'll get into some more later down the road because there is some information that's coming across about some other stuff. Some things people have probably already heard of and kind of making a connection with coronavirus in this information. All right, but that's going to be another podcast. Maybe if I don't even do a podcast, I might just do another video on it down the road. But that's neither here nor there. We're not going to even focus on that right now. And so let's get into this article, man. Let's just get right into it. All right. Here's an article here called 9 Creative Ways to Pay Rent When the Bank Account is Near Zero. All right. Based on when I'm scrolling up here, I might minimize my face. But we're going to take a look at this real quick. All right. Let me just start reading this part of it anyway. When you think you're out of money, you generally assume you can't spend anymore. Your instinct is to turn super frugal. I'm going to read that again. When you think you're out of money, you generally assume you can't spend anymore. Your instinct is to turn super frugal. Cut every non-necessity and maybe even skip a bill or two. All right. When you think you can't even make rent, the situation can seem pretty dire. All right. But it doesn't have to be. Instead of figuring out what you have to forego this month when money is tight, find ways to make the money you need. All right. I'm going to read that one. I'm going to say that one again. But it doesn't have to be that way. Instead of figuring out what you have to forego this month when money is tight, find ways to make the money you need. All right. That doesn't have to mean a second job or getting into debt. There are tons of small, simple ways to put extra cash in your bank account so you don't feel that panic at the first of the month. All right. Not all of these tactics will put money in your pocket right away, but we'll note the ones that will. All right. And I'm sharing this article from the Penny Hoarder. All right. This is from the Penny Hoarder. I kind of want to let me see something here. Let me see if I can make some adjustments so I don't have to be bending over to read stuff here. Let me see if I can change some things up. Be up close and personal with you. All right. Be up close and personal. Let me see if I can fix this thing up here. And hopefully it'll stay. All right. Yeah, this is pretty cool right here. That's what's so cool about a mobile studio. You can go live on camera or record it, either one, and you just get the right inexpensive equipment like this cell phone holder that you can buy for between $5 and $10, and then you can just throw your phone up there, and then you just find somewhere to stick it up at, and you can be anywhere and go live. All right. So let's check it out. All right. So the first one is let this organization pay it for you. Let me go on and minimize my face real fast here so you guys can see everything. That might be good enough right there. Get up in the corner. All right. So let this organization pay it for you. If you can't pay your rent because of unforeseen circumstances, look into applying for a grant. Take, for example, modest needs grant or modest needs grants, which are designed for workers just above the poverty line who are ineligible for most other forms of social assistance. It provides small grants to deserving, self-sufficient individuals who are usually capable of paying rent and other expenses but can't cover expenses for the month because of surprise cost, such as medical emergencies, a death in the family, loss of a job, or a large utility bill. Modest Needs accepts applications from anyone in need with a priority for people living alone, public school teachers, and first responders. All right? Y'all take advantage of that. All right? Second one. Earn up to $225 to watch cooking videos online. Okay. All right. If we told you that you could get paid to watch videos on your computer, you'd probably laugh. It's too good to be true, right? But we're serious. A website called Inbox Dollars. All right. You guys keep that, write that down or whatever when you check out this video. A website called Inbox Dollars will pay you to watch short video clips online. 1 minute you might watch someone bake brownies, and the next you might get the latest updates on Kardashian drama. All you have to do is choose which videos you want to watch and answer a few quick questions about them afterwards. Brands pay Inbox Dollars to get these videos in front of viewers, and it passes a cut on to you. Inbox Dollars won't cover your full rent, but it's possible to earn up to $225 a month watching these videos. All right. Unlike other sites, Inbox Dollars pays you in cash. Okay. No points or gift cards. They pay you in cash. Inbox Dollars pays you in cash. No points or gift cards. So you can put the money directly toward rent. It's already paid its users more than $56 million. It's already paid its users more than $56 million. It takes about 1 minute to sign up, and you immediately earn a $5 bonus to get you started. All right. Y'all look into that. That's called Inbox Dollars. Okay. Number 3 out of the 9 is ask this website to help you pay your credit card bill this month. If you're struggling to pay rent, we bet your credit card balance isn't looking so hot either. So we found a company that'll help you take care of it. No, like the whole bill could be paid by the end of this month. Your credit card company is ripping you off with insane rates and it's getting rich off of you. But there are other nicer companies that'll help you out, including a website like Fiona. All right. So you guys, I'm not going to click on these highlighted websites, but be sure that you go look these things up. If you're watching this on video, if you're watching this podcast by video, just go back and look at the video again. And you can even go to, for anybody listening or watching, just go to the Penny Hoarder. And the title of this article is called 9 Creative Ways to Pay Rent When the Bank Account is Near Zero. All right. Just go to Penny Hoarder. I guess it's thepennyhoarder.com. Thepennyhoarder.com. And then type in, or you can go on your Google search and type in 9 creative ways to pay rent when the bank account is near zero, and then put the Penny Hoarder after that, and this article should pop up. All right, so let's get back to number 3 here. And it says, if you're struggling to pay rent, we bet your credit card balance isn't looking so hot either. So we found a company that'll help you take care of it. No, like the whole bill could be paid by the end of the month. All right. Your credit card company is ripping you off with the insane rates. A lot of people know that. They realize that. And it's getting rich off of you. But there are other nicer companies that'll help you out, including a website like Fiona. All right. Here's how it works. Fiona will loan you up to $100,000 so that you can cover your credit card tab. Use that loan to pay off your debt. Then make monthly payments to repay the loan. It could lower your monthly payments and help you pay off that debt a lot faster. Plus, no credit card payment this month means money freed up for rent. All right. So this article is all about how you can pay your rent, but you can also see how you can use some of these tips or sites to where you can actually make some money. All right. Fiona won't make you stand in line or call a bank. And if you're worried you won't qualify, it's free to check online. It takes just 2 minutes and it could save you thousands of dollars. Totally worth it. All right. Next one, number 4, says cancel your car insurance. All right. When you're trying to pay rent, cutting expenses is one of the most impactful things you can do. It might feel like you've already cut every enjoyable thing out of your budget, but the truth is one of the simplest expenses you can cut is car insurance. If you really want to get the best price on car insurance, experts say you should be shopping twice a year. Okay, we can hear you laughing from here. Who has the time to do all that? But seriously, insurance companies take a lot of factors into consideration and they change all the time. Ipso facto, you're paying too much. Thankfully, a free website called The Zebra will do the shopping for you in just 2 minutes. All right, so take a look at The Zebra or type that in your Google search. All you have to do is enter basic information about your car and driving history. Then The Zebra compares prices from more than 100 companies to find you the best price. The Zebra says it saves its users up to $670 a year. If you find a policy you like, you can sign up online instantly. So who's laughing now? All right. So y'all check that out. Take advantage of The Zebra. All right. Number five is get paid to take a poll. All right. Get paid to take a poll. What did you think of the new Spider-Man movie? Is a hot dog a sandwich? Who's your favorite Real Housewife? The research company My Points, it's called My Points, has people over $236 million to answer, has paid people. I skipped that. The research company My Points has paid people over $236 million to answer poll questions like the ones I just read over the past 23 years. And they're currently recruiting new panelists. You can do it right on your phone, and you'll even earn a $5 bonus when you sign up and complete your first 5 polls, all right? So again, that is My Points. All right, number 6 is ask for help. All right, if you've really exhausted your options, try calling a local resource line for help. Seriously, there's no shame in it. Start with 211, a confidential service offered through United Way that'll help you find the resources you need to find affordable housing, make rent, or pay utilities. It's there for people like you. All right. To use the service, head to 211.org and enter your location. It'll show you services in your community and give you a number to call. It's a clearinghouse for help with food, housing, utilities, and employment. All right. If you've never asked for help before, that means you don't know what kind of help is out there. All right. So take advantage of that. That's 211.org. All right. So now we're up to number 7. Get free checks in the mail when you stock up online. All right. This says, do you do some of your grocery shopping online? It's convenient, right? You can order all your pantry items and paper goods and have them delivered to your door. Skip all those middle aisles when you're actually at the store. And what's better, if you do your grocery shopping online, you could get free checks in the mail. Thanks to a website called Rakuten. That's how I'm going to pronounce it. Rakuten is spelled Rakuten. All right. That's a website. Now, I'm going to say this before I go any further. Now, I haven't clicked on any of these. For those who's watching the podcast, even with those who's listening, it's giving little links to all these sites, but I haven't clicked on them. So I don't know if the sites are still active or not. So you're just going to have to do your own personal research, once you hear this podcast, all right? But just look them up. They might still be in existence, and you might be able to get some things going for yourself, all right? So it says, nope, no blank checks. We're talking actual checks you can cash. In fact, Denver resident Colleen Rice shops for everything through Rakuten and has earned more than $526.44. Here's how it works. Before you stock up online, create a Rakuten account. Once you're in, it takes less than 60 seconds. You'll find thousands of stores Rakuten has partnered with to get you cash or checks back. When we checked, we found deals at Amazon, Safeway, Sam's Club, Boxed, and Walmart. These stores pay Rakuten a referral fee, and Rakuten passes some of that along to you guys, all right? Plus, if you use Rakuten within the first 90 days of signing up, it'll give you an extra $10, okay? So that's Rakuten. That's Rakuten. Look it up, all right? Number 8, get paid to lose weight, all right? Get paid to lose weight. Bottom line, a company called Healthy Wage will literally pay you for losing weight. Not only are you getting more healthy, you're also making some money. How's that for motivation? All right. Here's how it works. Number 1, you sign up for Healthy Wage. I guess that's the website. Define a goal weight and the amount of time you'll give yourself to achieve it. Place a bet on yourself ranging from $20 to $500 a month. Depending on how much you have to lose, how long you give yourself to do it, and how much money you put on the table, you could win up to $10,000. All right. Wondering if it can really work, we talked to one woman, Teresa Suarez, who lost 68 pounds and made over $2,400. All right. So your guys look into that. And lastly, number 9, get free scratch-off tickets. All right. Get free scratch-off tickets. Free scratch-off tickets. Okay. The odds don't usually make playing the lottery worth your limited funds. But what if you could get the tickets for free? Instead of a convenience store shop, try scratching for free using an app called Lucktastic. Lucktastic, okay? Lucktastic. Lucktastic. All one word. So I guess that's an app called Lucktastic. Each day it releases a new assortment of digital scratch-off tickets. Lucktastic says instant wins range from $1 to $10,000 in cash or gift cards to popular retailers. All right. The app is supported by advertising, which allows it to keep the payouts high and the games free. For more info, check out Lucktastic here, and I guess it gives you that little click on, and I guess it'll bring you to an app. Wouldn't you like to make your friends jealous by telling them the lottery paid your rent? All right. So there you go. Those are 9 creative ways to pay rent when the bank account is near zero. All right. So I hope you guys will get something out of that. I might look into some of that stuff myself. And a lot of it I might just look at just to see if these websites still exist in the app, just to see how it is. And again, we don't know. I don't know all the particulars to the detail, but I just read you this article so you guys can get started on getting your money back up. All right, getting your cash stacked. Okay, so with that being said, let's go into. Now I want to talk about I don't know if it's a documentary or what, or a TV show. I think it might have came from, I seen it on YouTube, but I think it came from one of the public channels. And the name of this show, or documentary, if you will, is called Amazon Empire, The Rise and Reign of Jeff Bezos. All right. Amazon Empire, The Rise and Reign of Jeff Bezos. Now, I was looking at some videos yesterday, and I started coming across some videos that I said, you know what, I probably need to look at these not necessarily, well, this Jeff Bezos video was one of them, but I just said in general, maybe I need to start looking at some videos in relation to that. All right. And so I seen that title. I seen it said Amazon Empire, The Rise and Reign of Jeff Bezos. And I started looking at it. And when I was looking at it, there was some things being said. I said, let me jot these down. This could be beneficial not only for myself, but for anybody who thinking about entrepreneurship or who already is in entrepreneurship. And let me see here. What else? Let me see. And I just figured that it would be something to think about, something to look at, or something to refresh yourself with from the notes I took. All right. So let me just get out of this article real fast, real quick here. Let me just pull that up. And yeah, that was, let me get out of that. Let me see if I can delete it. Yeah, you guys have already seen that in the podcast. So what I'm going to do is, hopefully I'll be able to speak these words in so you guys can see it on the screen at least. Deleted memos are moved to the trash and permanently deleted before then. You can restore any memos. Okay, because it'll keep asking me that. All right, let me see. Okay, there's a microphone there. All right, cool. So here's some takeaways I came with, some notes I jotted down from this particular show documentary. First of all, I guess originally Amazon was called, or was going to be called, Relentless. I thought it was another name they was also going to call it, or Jeff Bezos was going to call Amazon before Amazon. But apparently Relentless was one of the names. I guess they might have had several names. So, and the meaning behind Relentless was we keep moving no matter what. All right. So there was a guy it was several executive or former executives from the early stages of Amazon that some guy was interviewing, and the meaning of relentless to them, or roughly, was that we continue to move on no matter what happens. And I thought that was pretty interesting. Okay, having that, as far as having that as a mindset. All right, to just continue moving, and that's something for anybody, whether you start a business or you just got things going on in your life. You need to have that particular mindset. All right, so let me put that in real quick. Relentless. It doesn't want to speak it. All right, let me type it in. Relentless, okay? Relentless. So that was one of the names that Jeff was going to call Amazon before Amazon. Relentless. I don't know if some of you guys actually seen that particular documentary. It's called Amazon Empire: The Rise and Reign of Jeff Bezos. Okay, and like I said, I took some notes or some takeaways, some things I just, kind of caught my ear, and I thought, oh, it's pretty interesting. Okay, and I just thought I'd share that with y'all. Okay, so one of the things was relentless, and they were saying relentless meant that we move on no matter what. So their mindset was no matter how things go or what things, how things go down, we're going to keep on moving in this business. So that was kind of Jeff Bezos' mindset, having, a relentless mind. All right. But eventually he turned it, changed it into Amazon. Okay. So the next thing, and that's just, I wanted to set the stage with that, just having a relentless mindset. It doesn't have to be entrepreneurship, but I am talking about that. But it also can be in your personal life. Keep moving no matter what circumstances come your way, no matter how people have treated you in the past, no matter if people set you back on certain things in life, still continue to have that relentless mindset. All right. So the next thing that came up, let me do this real quick. What's going on, Jermaine? Haven't heard from you in a minute. What's going on? So, relentless. That's number one. Let's go to number two. How are you? All right. So number two was, let me see here what I got. When Jeff sets his mind. So they was asking one of the former executives, hey. Doing well. Very good. Very good. Glad to hear that. Most definitely. Glad to hear that. Where you at? You in Jamaica or something? I seen some pictures of you about a month or so ago, maybe a few months back. I was looking at some pictures of, I guess you had your mom, and looked like you was in Jamaica or something. So I was like, oh, she done left New York. She done left the Bronx and went back to the islands. So number two, back and forth. Okay. All right. That's what's up. So, number two, let me put that in here. Oh, it says when Jeff, he was asking some guy, one of the former execs, about the relentless thing, the relentless mindset. So he said that reflect kind of Jeff's personality. And the guy was saying, well, if he said the way Jeff thinks, or kind of how he moves, when he sets his mind on a goal that he thinks he can achieve, he'll either He either won't stop until he's proven wrong that he can't set that goal, or until he actually achieves the goal. So I thought that was really interesting when he said that. So he said he sets his mind on a goal that he thinks he can achieve. And the way the guy said it, he said it kind of trying to be smart, like a smart ass a little bit. So he was like, yeah, if he can if he sets his mind on a goal that he thinks he can achieve, he won't stop until he's proven wrong, or until he achieves the goal. All right. So, and I thought that was that was something that hit me, that caught my ear, and I said, let me write that down. That's a good mindset to have. All right. That's a good mindset to have of any goal you set out to achieve. All right. When you think you can achieve something, you just don't stop at it until you're proven wrong that you can't get that goal accomplished, or until you accomplish the goal. That's simple. It's pretty straightforward. Another thing was he was giving Jeff Bezos himself, because he was part of the documentary as well. He was given a quote by I don't know if it was Benjamin Franklin. I forgot what the quote was, but what he said after that, I guess to kind of paraphrase what the quote was saying, or to just kind of make it clear, was that ideas are easy. So he was saying, coming up with ideas is easy, is the easy part. Execution is everything. And that was another thing that hit me, because I've heard that on several occasions from a few billionaires. I've done seen videos and seen quotes. I think Dan Pena was one of them. It was several of them. The one that comes to mind was Dan Pena, because he's just like a straight up in your face type of old dude. So Dan Pena was kind of one of them. And of course, now I see that Jeff Bezos was saying the same thing. And so that was another thing, another takeaway that I took. And that's something I was thinking of myself. And I also always remembered hearing ideas make millionaires, but ideas aren't anything unless you take action on it. So, and I like to say sometimes ideas are billionaires. Ideas make billionaires. All right. That's something I kind of put a flip on some of the stuff I heard other people say. Ideas make billionaires, but you got to take action on those ideas. All right. So that was another takeaway that kind of struck me real quick. Let me see here. What else here? And then they were talking about how he was saying how, they made a thing where customer service was up there, was a big, a big plus or a big thing for Jeff, and for him to pass it on to his staff. Okay. The customer experience, the customer comes first. And it was kind of interesting, which was something to make to bring up a mindset, was that when they were sitting meetings, they'll have all the main staff there, and they'll always leave one chair empty. And that chair, the empty chair, just represented the customer. So whenever they would go over whatever they would go over, ideas or brainstorm things, it made everybody think in terms of the customer. Keep the customer in mind. And I thought that was a visual thing that was real interesting. I thought that was real cool. I thought that was real creative to do something like that. Like, hey, we got to keep the customer in mind. Although I wonder sometimes if they really keep the customer in mind, because there was a lot of other things, which I won't get into that, because like I said, I just took some takeaways that I thought would be something positive for people wanting to be entrepreneurs, people who are just kind of starting their journey as entrepreneurs, and they might want to grasp on some of these concepts and mindsets. So that was one of the things that was real interesting that I seen, was the fact that they had that empty seat representing the customer. So when they would have their meetings, they would definitely discuss things with the customer, that empty chair, in mind. So I thought that was pretty cool. Another thing was something I've said before, and things I've heard in the past, is he always experimented. He always had the mindset of experimenting new techniques and new technologies to boost productivity. All right. So they were always experimenting with different things, and what they were saying, what they were showing was some company had came up with some type of. You guys know about the robot, the vacuum that's in a circle that kind of goes, and you can program it to start a certain day or a certain time, and the vacuum for how long or whatever. Then it goes back to its recharging station. Well, apparently there was a company, I forget the name of it, that created these something similar to those, but it was a little bit larger than the vacuums, the Roombas and the iBot vacuums, and it was in a square shape instead of a circle. And Jeff Bezos decided to purchase the whole entire company. I guess that means he took the whole company over, because when he came across this company that was making these robots, there was the perfect thing, because I guess they were always looking into new ways. Like he said, they experimented with new techniques and new technologies to boost their productivity. So one of those technologies was this square little thing you could program, and it would move a whole stack of whatever it was, books, cameras, any type of items that was on a big shelf, kind of positioned and shaped the same way, so it can fit on top of this thing, and it would program and move. I guess you could program it if you needed to get a certain item out that somebody made a purchase on. It would come out, and you could take that thing off, and then it'll go back into its particular aisle where it came from. That way, people didn't have to kind of walk across different aisles and pick things out and stuff like that. So it kind of sorted itself in position in a nice little row. So I thought that was pretty cool. The comment that the invention of that was cool, but also the mindset of having an experimental mind. And that was something, like I said, that also hit me as well. Also, in terms of even you guys who might consider or want to put more things out on social media, you can always experiment with different tactics and different processes, like putting pictures out, putting pictures with comments on it, and just see what the results are. You know, how many views you get, how many eyes you get, how many people comment on, and you should have that type of mindset. Sometimes you end up coming and discovering things because of you experimenting on things. All right. So that was another thing that I thought was pretty cool, as far as having that type of mindset. All right. So that was pretty much it, man. Those were the things that I wrote down that really sparked my mind and caught my ear when I was looking at this documentary. I just say it's a documentary. So again, real quick, the documentary is called Amazon Empire, The Rise and Reign of Jeff Bezos. All right. Amazon Empire, The Rise and Reign of Jeff Bezos. Let me write this stuff down real quick so you guys can see it, although you heard me say it. Let me get this out the way. Number 2 was, let me see if this thing would it let me speak it again. Let me try it again here. Oh, come on. Oh, okay, I guess it won't let me do it because I'm on live. Okay. That's no problem. So I'm going to write this down. When Jeff sets his mind on a goal, he thinks he can achieve, he won't stop. Oh, put that there. He won't stop until he won't stop until he's proven wrong. Just so you guys can get a visual of it. So he's proven wrong, or until he achieves his goal. I'm going to add that in there. Or until he achieves. Until he achieves his goal. So I thought that was a pretty cool comment to have, or mindset to have. Number 3. What was number 3? Ideas are the easy part. Ideas are the easy part. Execution is everything. So you guys can have a lot of ideas, but the problem with execution is everything. The problem with a lot of folks is that they'll have an idea, but then they'll start second guessing the idea before they even try it, right? They'll start second guessing. They have an idea and it sounds pretty good. Just go on and try it. Every time you have an idea about something, try to make that idea happen. All right. And the worst that can happen is you'll see the ideas is garbage, or you might find out that you got something. All right. It's that simple. Okay. Now, the 4th one, I'm going to type that in for you guys, is the customer experience. And like I said, I explained that. All right. The customer experience. And then he said the customer comes first. I know that sounds so cliche with a lot of people because it could sound like a bunch of BS. So you got to be for real with that. And I guess in the early stages, he probably had that in mind. But like I said, if you watch more, you continue watching the rest of it, you'll start going, uh-oh, there's some little shaky stuff going on too. But like I said, this was some of the good takeaways that I found pretty cool, that, entrepreneurs can take that to heart. Oh, okay. It was the other thing as part of what I'm getting ready to type down. So I'll add that here in a minute. Let me see. Let's go with number 5 real quick. And that was, he experimented. All right, he experimented with new technologies. Whoops. What in the world is this? Technologies, there you go. He experimented with new technologies. I should have said techniques. Let's do that right. Techniques and new technologies. He experimented with new techniques and new technologies to boost productivity. All right, boost productivity. There we go. Now, it was one thing I had left out earlier. So as part of this number 5, he experimented with new technologies, with new techniques and new technologies to boost productivity. He said the willingness to experiment is the key to being able to do new things. So I'm going to add that in there. That was very key as well. All right. Come on, man. What's going on? What's really going on? There you go. The willingness. I thought that was kind of profound a little bit. The willingness to experiment. So the willingness to experiment with things. You got to experiment with things. Test things out. All right. The willingness to experiment is the key to being able to do new things. To do new things. All right. All right. And so that's part of that I thought was interesting. So let's go over it real quick now that I wrote it all down. I was supposed to be writing it down as I was talking. All right, number 1 was relentless, and you guys who are just catching the podcast now, just go back and you see what I'm talking about. Number 2 was when Jeff sets sets his mind on, I left something out in there, sets his mind on a goal he thinks he can achieve, he won't stop until he's proven wrong or until he achieves his goal. All right. The number 3 thing that I got out of that video was ideas are easy, or the easy part, but execution is everything. So again, you have an idea about something, execute, take action on it, and make that idea a reality, and just see how it goes. Stop contemplating. That's what's stopping a lot of people from even doing a podcast, because you have an idea. The idea might just to be you want to start a podcast, and then you get into this thing. Well, I don't know what I want to talk about, and I don't know this, and I don't know that. Well, then when you start having those thoughts, start looking stuff up to kind of spark some ideas. Buy a book if you need to. Go get a course. Take a course if you need to kind of get some ideas going. Try to look up some videos. Try to look up some articles to kind of get your brain going on what you should talk about. Sometimes just think about it. If you have the thought like you don't know what you want to talk about, start gauging your own mind. Sit back and sit somewhere quiet and just think, what do I want to talk about? What would I want to talk about? All right. Then you start getting the mindset of having, well, what can I use? And I got to get all this expensive equipment. But what I'm doing right now, you guys are looking at it. It's no expensive equipment per se, because everybody has to nowadays, I guess, get a phone. So what I'm doing my podcast on right now, and I use different things. I just don't use this. I use a bunch of stuff. But you already have a phone in your hand. All you got to do is get one of these free apps. Like I told y'all about this app that I'm using now in some previous videos. Just look down my page and you'll find it somewhere. So every now and then I'll do something like this. Turn on the app, go to Facebook, or I use another app that I use that I use for YouTube. I'll go on YouTube. Or I take a camera I already have, or the phone camera that you already have, and just do your podcast recording yourself. You can always edit stuff out if you don't want to do it live. You can edit things out of what you're saying. You can get a free video editing app, and you can edit your videos right on the spot. Most phones have the like the audio recording app. If you don't want to do video, you can always just grab your phone and speak into the phone, and that's your podcast. And then you can just upload that particular audio. You can use a video editing app and put that audio on there and just put some words on the screen every now and then, or throw some pictures up. That's your podcast. Then, and see, I'm actually giving y'all tips on that stuff. That's some of the stuff that's in my course and my book of the same course. Then you could take that audio or that video that you made, turn that video into audio, and then you can start uploading it to audio platforms, podcast platforms. Then you got a podcast show. That's simple. So you need to start. The whole point of saying that is to start executing your ideas. All right. Don't sit on there and get stuck once you have an idea about something. Then you start debating and contemplating and wondering if it's going to work, and didn't even try to do it yet. All right. So that was that. Again, just recapping. Number 4, the customer experience. I just thought out of all of that I thought was cool when they had their meetings. They had an empty chair. They had all the staff there, the high up staff, the manager staff, and whatever they were discussing in the meeting, they always left an empty chair, which meant that whatever they were discussing, that empty chair represented the customer, and they had to keep the customer in mind in whatever decisions they were making, whatever ideas or brainstorming they were doing. They had to keep that customer in mind. So I thought that was cool. And then lastly, it says that Jeff Bezos experimented with new techniques, tried out, again, that's trying out different things, little techniques of doing this, techniques of making it easier for the employees to find stuff. And they'll talk about that too. Some of that stuff was kind of shady down the road. Like I said, there was some shady stuff about Amazon, But there was some cool takeaways that I thought would help some people out, and that's the stuff I grabbed, just the good stuff out of that. But the other stuff was interesting though. But anyway, he experimented with new techniques, new technologies to boost the productivity of the company. All right, and then he said the willingness to experiment is the key to being able to do new things. You got to be willing to try out different stuff. Again, I bring up like just simply people want to post more stuff and on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever, having the willingness to try things that even though you might feel like, oh, somebody ain't gonna like that when I post it up, or I'm not gonna get too many views, so what? Experiment. If it's a picture with a quote, put that picture and quote up. You might find that a lot of people like it, and you might find that people might just look at it but never comment on it. You can't let that be the thing that stops you. But being able to or willing to experiment is the key to being able to do new stuff. All right? And to keep moving on to new things and building on top of stuff. So I thought that was just a cool takeaway from those. And man, so I hope this helped you out personally and as entrepreneurs. And so lastly, there's another video, an Alux video, but it wasn't I think they were talking about, I can't remember what it was they were talking about, but at the very end, for those who actually look at Alux videos from time to time, at the very end they give like a bonus, and the bonus was something that I started jotting the notes down on. All right, it's I think it kind of titled, "It's not the business, it's the entrepreneur." It's not the business, it's the entrepreneur. And it was saying the right entrepreneur can make any business successful. And so then he gave like five different things to kind of build on or develop yourself into one of those entrepreneurs that can make any business successful. I think they had put up a quote saying something along, and I'm paraphrasing, like there are entrepreneurs with the best ideas that still couldn't make a business, even with the best idea, still couldn't make a business prosper. But then you have an entrepreneur with a mediocre idea, and they can, because it's the entrepreneur and not the business itself, the right entrepreneur can make that business successful even with a mediocre idea. All right. So here's the 5 things that I took notes on and takeaways from. Number 1 was playing the long game, meaning perseverance is the key. A lot of people start something, and if they don't see things going like they thought it would, and especially in the early stages, you start to kind of give up and like, oh, this ain't working. And you kind of leave it alone after that. All right. And I'm just leave it at that. Number 2 is being passionate about what you do. So a lot of times, going back to number 1, playing the long game and perseverance is the key. It could kind of be a correlation between 1 and 2. If you're not passionate about the business you're trying to start, you're not going to play the long game anyway. You're gonna fold the moment you don't see things going your way, or things being successful or expanding, because you wasn't really passionate about it anyway. You didn't have something inside that really wants to keep going, so you still keep developing stuff. Just like I was mentioning about what Jeff Bezos was saying about experimenting with things. If you're passionate about it, you're going to keep experimenting with ways to promote whatever you're doing, trying new techniques, trying new styles or whatever. You're looking at different technologies, different apps, different websites that can help you grow and expand your business. You got to have if you have a passion for it, you're going to be doing those things anyway, right? And number 3, which is something that I always think about a lot, or have thought about a lot, is being a continuous learner. A lot of people just want to get to a certain point through school and then they done. And entrepreneurs got to be continuous learners. All right. The more you learn, the better you are at what you do. The moment you stop learning is the moment you start failing. All right. So be a continuous learner. Continue learning about new strategies on how to promote. Come up and create different things, because I did some video in the past. You can even learn by discovery. You can be doing things, and just by accident, you might stumble across something, discover something like, oh, and then you learn something from that. All right. You might put something out and discover some information. Oh, a lot of people like this, or a lot of people really wanting to contact me now because you discovered something. Through that discovery, you can learn something through discovery. All right. So number 4 is the willingness to fail. All right. The willingness to fail. You got to take risk. The more you take, the chances you have of getting ahead. The more risk you take, the better, or the more chances you have of getting ahead. All right. So I thought that was pretty insightful as well. So don't get bent out of shape if you fail. And of course, that goes back to the being passionate and persevering, playing the long game. You're not trying to go into business for, some people might, I don't know, I could be wrong. Some people want to be in business just for a couple of years. And if they ain't make it in the first 6 months, then they spazzed out and they done. That might be due to because you wasn't passionate about it, or you wasn't really into it like that anyway, right? So the willingness to fail. You got to take risk. The more risk you take, the better, the more chances you have of getting ahead. All right. And then lastly, which is self-explanatory, you just got to have the ability to adapt. All right. When it comes to entrepreneurship, the ability to adapt to situations, to circumstances, to way things are going. Situations change based on different things. And the video I did, I think maybe before this one, when I did or maybe 2 videos ago, when I did what if, when and then, and what can I do, that explains that, how to deal with situations when they have to change and you have to adapt to those situations. All right. So keep those 5 things in mind. Again, number 1, playing the long game. Perseverance is the key. Being passionate about what you do. Continuous learning. The more you learn, the better you are at what you do. The moment you stop learning is the moment you start failing. Have a willingness to fail. You got to take some type of risk. You got to risk something. It doesn't have to be a big risk. It could just be a risk just to try something. Not that it's even going to do something bad to you or not. Some people don't even want to take, I'll just use podcasting again as an example. A lot of people want to do a podcast, but they won't even start a podcast. Just the risk of starting a podcast. You're not going to get hurt one way or the other. You got to take some type of risk. And I even put risk as just take the steps, take the move, make the move. All right. You just got to do something. You know what I'm saying? And then lastly, the ability to adapt. All right. Sometimes you got to think ahead and think of things that could happen, that could be a detriment to your company. And then once you kind of come up with those different scenarios that could happen, start thinking of ways to make those worst case scenario things, find ways to lessen that or to stop it at all costs. Like, again, I go back to the couple of videos ago that I made. I had my cousin on, or she was watching me on it. And, I mentioned something about, her hairstyle, because she does hair. And I said, well, what if somebody comes up with now she was getting all this business beforehand. I just using it as a scenario. You get a lot of business, and a lot of people come to you because you do the good hairstyles, you do the weaves, the lace fronts, the wigs, whatever. And and then all of a sudden somebody else busts out with a new style on you. And then all of a sudden all those customers that were coming to you, now they're going to them. And so you need to think ahead and think, well, what if this were to actually happen? What can I do to make sure I maintain and retain my customers? Do I need to learn that style too, so I can be in on it at the beginning instead of sweating the fact that somebody has this new style out and you just sitting there just being mad? Like, man, look at my customers, they gone, man, because this girl over here, she got this new style or this new wig or this new lace front. And now all my customers were going. Instead of having that mindset, say, you know what? Let me make sure to avoid from that happening. Let me make sure every now and then I start going on social media and looking at other people's hairstyles or people that's doing hair. Let me see what they doing every now and then. Maybe somebody I'll look at on a video might start a new hairstyle and I need to get up on it and be like, they might come up with the hairstyle and then I can learn how to do it too. So when the customers say, hey girl, do you do this? Do you do that? And then you can say, well, yeah, I do that hairstyle. And that way you keep having your customers. And then it becomes a thing where if this person that does the hairstyle or found out about it or created a new hairstyle and a lot of customers that she's too busy, then you can get a lot of work yourself, because now they're like, well, she's too much booked up and I ain't got time to wait. And they'll find out that you're doing it. Then you get more customers. So that's another thing about having the ability to adapt to situations and having the ability to adapt as in a general sense, not just with business, it's in life, is a good mindset to have anyway. Adapt and improvise and overcome situations. All right. That's a good mindset to have, period, regardless of what's going on in your life. Running a business, you're a mayor of a city, you run a little town, you run a business, you're a president, you're a governor. Having that mindset of adapting, improvising, and then overcoming that situation, that's a good mindset to have, period. Personal, business, or otherwise. All right. So that is it, man. I appreciate it. Once again, I thank you guys for coming in and checking out Thoughts of the Week podcast. And I hope the information that I presented to y'all will help you out, especially all of it, not just especially one over the other, all of it. The information about creative ways to get more money to pay your rent. If you're short on rent, you don't have rent money. I read that article. Then I talked about the Jeff Bezos documentary called Amazon Empire, the rise and reign of Jeff Bezos, and then some takeaways from another video that I thought would be pretty beneficial towards entrepreneurship. All right. So with that being said, again, what's up to Africa? What's up to France, Spain, Germany? You're definitely rocking with the best Thoughts of the Week podcast. I appreciate you guys for watching and listening as well. For those who listen to the podcast, I'm on a whole bunch of podcast platforms. Off the top of my head, let me think. You can hear me. You can listen to me on Himalaya, Breaker, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Google Play Music, Radio Public, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Anchor. I can't remember the other ones. I'm on at least between 13 that I know of. The podcast app is another one. You can actually go to Google and type in the podcast app and just get that app. You can hear my podcast. It's free. You don't have to sign up or do nothing. You just download that app and just type in Thoughts of the Week podcast and my podcast will show up for those who just want to listen to it. All right, so I'm on like I said, I'm on a bunch of the ones I know of is about between 13 and 14 different podcast platforms. You can also catch me on YouTube as well, Facebook, and to listen to or watch the podcast anyway. And so if you want to check me out, check me out. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, though, I appreciate you guys again. We did it. One more podcast in. And the next one, I mentioned earlier about the Robin Hood. I mentioned a video. I don't know if it was a podcast before or a video I was doing. I was mentioning that I might, go on live and kind of go over some stocks to see where they're at. Just kind of randomly go over different stocks and just see what the prices are, man. Because there's been a lot of talk about that. So that might be the next podcast. Who knows? I might do 67 today or in a couple of days, just to see how I feel about it. But again, thank you guys for coming in, checking in. Yes, indeed, you're rocking with the best Thoughts of the Week podcast. I'm out. Gone. One love.